Nice meeting you.
Come back and find your seats. We're going to go ahead and get started. How are we doing so far?
Good.
2 people are doing good. How's the rest of y'all doing? How are we doing?
Good.
Good. All right. Now, this next section, we're going to talk about some different ways that you can creatively differentiate your law firm from your competition. One of the biggest struggles that attorneys have is, how do I talk about myself in a way that doesn't sound pretentious or obnoxious, but that differentiates myself from all the other competitors that I have out there? Because typically, the way that people try to differentiate themselves is either the size of their law firm, we're a great big law firm, or we're a small boutique practice, and the price for their services, neither of which are to your benefit. They don't really work. So, a couple of years ago, I came across a gentleman in Phoenix who had some phenomenal experience working with law firms over the last 25 years. And I was very, very happy, very excited when Gil decided to join our team as one of our senior Rainmaker consultants. And it truly, when you see one of those players, one of those people that come in and right from the get-go, they hit the ground running, they have an owner's mentality, and you can tell that they're going to be an A player on your team. You get really excited about that. And Gil is certainly one of those people. One of the cool things about Gil is that he has become the lead instructor, the lead professor of Intake University, which he'll talk about a little bit later on today. And also, he's a very proud veteran of the Navy. And in fact, if you get a couple drinks into him at the happy hour tonight, he'll actually tell you some incredible stories, including how one time when he was driving or I don't know if you call it driving or not, but was at the helm of a Navy warship when he ran over a nuclear submarine. That's a story you want to hear. And most importantly, of course, he's the father of 5 kids, including 4 girls, so he's been around plenty of estrogen in his life. And but we're very excited when Gil joined our team, and I'd like you to welcome Gil Shuga to the stage.
Thank you, Stephen. You know, you can take from this that I'm multilingual. I speak lawyer, which is good, and I also have learned to speak teenager. So it's lit to be here in Miami. When I told that to my 13-year-old, she roasted me because she's savage, yo. All right. Some of you got that. Those of you who didn't, ask your kids, your grandkids, they'll explain too. How many of you here have competition? Raise your hand. Oh good, then this applies to all of you, okay? Because if you don't have competition, you really have no business being here, but I think all of you do. And what we need to do, and we titled this very subtly, differentiate or die. And although that seems like a bit hyperbole, it's not, okay? If you don't have a unique competitive advantage, people don't have a reason to hire you versus somebody down the street. Because every person who calls your firm, every person who responds to your marketing efforts, every person who seeks to hire you as a lawyer really wants to know one thing. Why should I hire you? What about you is different than the person down the street? What about you is different than all those billboards I saw, TV ads I saw, other websites I saw, all the names that came up on that Google search I did? What's different about you? Why should I hire you? Now, they'll rarely ask you that question. They'll ask you questions like, do you have any experience in this area? Which is really asking, why should I hire you? Or, have you handled many cases like this? Which is, why should I hire you? Or, the bold ones will say, are you any good at this? Which really is asking, why should I hire you? And you have to be prepared, your intake staff has to be prepared to answer that question for every single potential client. Because your potential clients have lots of options. Someone that has a legal need in your practice area has other options. They don't have to hire you. They can hire you. That's what we consider to be the best option, right? That would be the best option. That's not their only one. They can hire somebody else because of all that competition that you guys have. They can hire somebody else. or they can do it by themselves. This is an ongoing issue, particularly for some of you in the consumer practices, particularly family law. There's a lot of do-it-yourself out there now. In certain jurisdictions, there are paralegals who handle those kinds of cases, who do document preparation for people. So that's more competition for you. They can ignore the problem. Take the ostrich approach. All of you have seen this before. Someone calls you when they've waited too long, the problem is too hard, or it's unsolvable. They can do nothing. They can hire a non-attorney, mentioned that already, paralegals that do that kind of work, or they have these kinds of options. We found this ad in Sam's Club. Remember when those were still open, Sam's Club? This is LegalZoom. How many of you heard of LegalZoom? All right, that's competition for you. That's cheap access to attorneys that are willing to take pennies on the dollar in some cases for the work, cutting into your work. Now, think about the number of people that go through the Walmart system every day and see this kind of ad and see this kind of access. That's more exposure to other than you for their legal services. So let's talk about ways to differentiate your law firm. All right, ways to make yourself the apple to everybody else's oranges. The way to make you stand out so that when someone calls you, they get the answer to that question, which was, why should I hire you? Exactly. Why should I hire you? Everybody has to have an answer to that question. Let's talk about some ways you can do that. We're going to run through these. These are in your book. There are ways you can identify benefits of working with your law firm. We staff every one of our cases with an attorney, a secretary, and a paralegal, so we always have somebody available to work with you when you call with a question of on your case. How about a value? Well, when you work with us in our estate planning firm, we have a flat fee arrangement that fits your needs so that you understand exactly what you're getting and what you're paying for. For example, results. Results are a great way to differentiate your firm. For those of you in personal injury world, you can always point to specific results you've had on cases. High dollar settlements, high value or high dollar judgments, if you will. Also, that applies to other areas as well. Estate planning and business planning, business succession plans, where you can talk about, we have taken a 50-year-old family-run business and successfully transferred it to the next generation and set it up so that the next generation after that is in the perfect place to do that. Great examples of your results that you've had. One of the things I've enjoyed working with attorneys for so many years is seeing how creative all of you can be in solving problems. And when you can highlight some of your successes, when you can highlight some of your results, you can answer that question on why they should hire you through your own creative resolution of some of these problems. Well, what you don't want to do is talk about services, quality, years of experience alone. Those are good things that go together, but never alone. You know, we provide quality legal service at reasonable rates. Who doesn't? Right? Or if you hold yourself out as a boutique law firm with big firm experience, well, guess what the big firms are saying? We're a big firm, but we have a boutique mentality. It doesn't set you apart from anybody else. It doesn't make you different. It doesn't answer the question, why should I hire you? Numbers. Numbers are the universal language. People understand numbers. If I say large and you say big, we might mean the same thing, but we might not. If I say lots and you say many, we don't know what we're talking about. But when I say 100 and you say 10, we understand that difference. And numbers work in a variety of ways. You can highlight numbers in terms of results. Jury verdicts, for example, settlements, $24,744,000 and change, as highlighting a particular kind of case. If somebody calls you and they explain that they were in a particular injury situation where certain facts are similar to what you've done before, you can highlight, well, we've had a case just like that where we had this result. Numbers of cases that you've handled, well, are combined with years of experience. Our attorneys combined have over 50 years of legal experience, and in that time, we've helped more than 5,000 people develop estate plans to protect their assets for their next generation. Numbers make a difference. Business-to-business attorneys, there's a couple of you here. You can specialize in an industry, focus on specific types of clients, high-tech clients.